Are you consistently hearing the "you're out of my budget, your pricing is too high" objection? If that is something that you keep getting, then your branding might need a refresh. Hey, my name is Sylvia B, and I am obsessed with business, marketing, and as an Enneagram Type 4, what makes you stand out from the crowd. I'm a business and mindset coach, wedding photographer, ex-engineer, and mom to 2 little boys. I teach photographers and creatives how to find success in their passion without sacrificing your values or identity, and bring in experts from all walks of life who will transform the way you see your business and help you build a life that truly fills your soul. Get ready, because we are going deep into topics from marketing to motherhood to mental health and everything in between. Welcome to Wide Open. When was the last time you took a hard look at your branding? If it's been a while, this is the episode for you. Branding is a powerful way to build trust, to build connection with your audience, to share your values. And if that's off, if that's not working, you're going to see some trouble. So in this episode, we are going to be talking about 3 clear signs that there is something off with your branding and that it might be holding your business back. And by the way, if this resonates, my free branding class, The Intentional Brand Blueprint, is live and available for you to enjoy, available for you to learn from. Inside the class, we're going to dive deeper into creating an intentional, cohesive brand that builds trust and sparks creativity. So stick around to the end of the episode or check the show notes for details on the Intentional Brand Blueprint. I'm so excited to be offering this class for free, and it is only free during the months of January, February, and March 2025. So make sure you grab that and stick around for details. Let's get into it. Sign number 1, your brand doesn't match your current business. I see this a lot with newer business owners that have just started to get clients. So maybe you did your branding before you had worked with anybody, or when you'd only had 1 or 2 clients, and now you have a better understanding of how you want to show up in your business, how your clients want you to show up in your business, and maybe the branding that you expected to be the right thing isn't actually the right thing. So for example, a photographer may have shifted from just casual backyard weddings to more high-end luxury weddings, but their branding still looks casual. So if you're not sure if your branding matches your current business, here are some questions you can ask yourself. Number 1, do your visuals and messaging reflect the type of clients you want to attract? So if with the photographer example, right? Like if you are trying to attract luxury weddings and your branding is very casual, very DIY, maybe that's not going to attract the luxury wedding clients that you're looking for. Number 2, does your branding feel like you, or does it feel like you from a little while ago? Like, have you evolved? Do you have different tastes? Do you wear different colors? Like, what does it seem like you, or is it kind of a less mature version of you or a less developed version of you? And last, do you like how your brand looks? If you don't like your brand, if you don't like how it looks, then maybe it's time to update it. Maybe it's time to make a change. Sign number 2 that your brand is ready for a refresh: your branding isn't attracting the right clients. We have all, even when our branding is spot on, we all occasionally will get those inquiries that you're like, wow, why did you even reach out to me? Like, we are clearly not a good fit. If you're getting a lot of that, or if you're getting a lot of just not who you want to work with, we're going back to that photographer example. If you want to be working at certain venues and all you're getting is like barns that don't have climate control, like no air conditioning in August, maybe you need to be changing your branding to resonate with those ideal clients. If your branding is too generic, or it's pointed in the wrong direction, or it's not clear, then it's not going to resonate with the people that you want to work with. So if you're not sure if this is you, here are the questions you can ask yourself. Number 1, are you consistently hearing the "you're out of my budget, your pricing is too high" objection? If that is something that you keep getting, then your branding might need a refresh. Number 2, do the leads you attract share your values and priorities? If they're saying that they want something that is different than what you want to deliver, then maybe it's time to update your branding. Number 3, do your existing clients and customers refer other ideal clients to you? So are you getting referrals from people you've already worked with that you want to work with? It's a really clear indicator that the people that you're attracting are not only who you want to work with, but who want to work with you, right? Like if you're delivering exactly what you want to deliver and they are loving it so much that they're referring their friends that are just like them, you know you're in the right space. If that doesn't sound like you, then maybe it's time for a refresh. Sign number 3 that your branding needs a refresh. Your brand feels inconsistent. So your website is different than your social media is different than your client experience. It all feels kind of disjointed, like not cohesive. So that lack of cohesiveness, even something as simple as having a different profile picture on all your different platforms can confuse potential clients, and that diminishes trust. If they're not totally sure you are the same person that they follow on the other platform, then they're not going to trust you as much, right? Like that's just common sense. But I think we overestimate potential clients' ability to tell if we're legit, because we know we're legit, right? So we see, okay, well, my face is here and my face is here and my face is there, but they don't necessarily have the facial recognition to be able to tell that you are the same person in all those different places. What they are going to be able to recognize is a consistent, cohesive brand across different platforms. So there is a good chance that they are finding you on one platform, they're inquiring or buying on that platform. But there's also a chance that they're going to be in your sphere for a while before they're ready to buy. And the more places you can have those touch points, the better. And if you're confusing clients as to like who you actually are on the different platforms, then they're not going to follow you on different platforms. They're going to have fewer touch points and they're going to be less likely to buy. You want to be in front of your clients or potential clients as much as possible so that they are exposed to you constantly. You stay top of mind and you are constantly like in their face. Hey, here's me. I do this. You should hire me. But this can also be an issue where your branding is not consistent with who you are and the client experience that you actually provide. So maybe you're a ball of energy with clients, like you're hype, you are the hype girl. You are just like super excited and just thrilled to be there. You're building them up. You're screaming, you're shouting, you're laughing, you're cracking jokes, whatever. But your Instagram captions are really stiff. They're really formal. They're like, these beautiful florals are such a great example of romance in July. Or I don't know, that was the dumbest thing I've ever said in my entire life. But like if you have these really stiff formal captions, but you yourself are not stiff and formal, then there's going to be a disconnect there, right? And you're going to lose trust with your clients when they meet you in person and realize that you're not who you say you are on social media, right? So, and it can go the other way too. Like you can be a ball of energy on social media. And actually, this is what I see more often. You can like take on this persona on social media, but in reality, you're maybe a little bit more calm, a little more introverted, but you have this idea that you have to look a certain way on social media. But if you're not showing up authentically to you, then it's not going to connect. You're going to lose trust, not build trust by pretending to be somebody that you're not. And the last example I'm going to use, because I've seen this happen with clients and it drives me nuts as someone who used to be a programmer. If you don't have the actual hex codes, like the little, like the thing with numbers and letters in it that tells the computer what color you want, if you don't actually have those hex codes for your brand colors so you can make sure you're using exactly the right colors, then your brand is not consistent. You need to use the exact same hex value every single time. Don't eyeball it. Do not eyeball it. There is an easier way. There's a better way. There's a more consistent way. Use the hex codes. I swear it's not as complicated as it feels. If you're not sure if this is you, here are a couple questions you can ask yourself. Number 1, does your branding feel polished and professional across all platforms? Like, does it feel like you know what to expect across every single platform? And number 2, can someone recognize your brand immediately, no matter where they find you? Let's say, you have a follower on Instagram and they're scrolling Pinterest and they see one of your pins. Do they immediately know that it's you? Do they immediately know, oh, hey, I know who that is? Okay, so those are the 3 signs that your brand needs a refresh. Your branding doesn't match your current business. Your branding isn't attracting the right clients, and your branding doesn't feel consistent. If even one of these is off, it is probably time for a refresh. Strong branding isn't just about looking good. It's about building trust. It's about aligning your values with the values of your audience. And it's about standing out. It's about making sure that people know that you are you and other people are other people so that you don't get confused with somebody else. For example, I am also a wedding photographer, and there is another wedding photographer in the area with a similar name to me. And we get confused all the time because our branding is similar. Our names are the same, and the experience we provide is actually pretty similar. So we have gotten a little bit more differentiated over the years, and it helps us kind of separate and for people to keep us straight. But I still get mistaken for her all the time because our branding is kind of similar. We have a very similar target audience. We have a very similar market. So standing out with your branding that's what you want. So if you are ready to give your brand a refresh, to get things aligned, I would love to invite you to the Intentional Brand Blueprint. This is a free class that's going to help you create a cohesive brand that actually feels like you, that attracts ideal clients and knocks your clients' socks off. So get your booty on over to my website to sign up for the free branding class. It is only free for these first 3 months of 2025. After that, it will be a paid offer. You can visit businesscoachsylvia.com/branding class or check the link in the show notes. It will be there as well. I cannot wait to see you in there. Next week, we are going to be switching gears a little bit from branding into life. So we want to create businesses that support our life and lives that support our businesses. We want it to be this cohesive, collaborative, symbiotic thing. We don't want our businesses to eat our lives, right? Like we don't want our businesses to become everything, especially when we have kids at home. So next week, we are having this fabulous conversation with Kellen Oftedal. She is a new mom. She's a business owner, and we just dive into it. We talk about what is working for us, what is not working for us, the boundaries we've set. We are just diving into the good, the bad, and the beautiful. So if you are a parent or you've ever thought about becoming one, this is an episode you are going to want to experience. So make sure you hit follow so that it pops up for you and you don't miss it. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Wide Open. I am just so thankful for the experience of podcasting, of being in your earbuds, of being part of your business and your life in this way. If this episode has resonated with you at all, would you please leave me a review? Reviews are how we demonstrate value and get new listeners. So if the Wide Open podcast has been of value to you, I would love it if you took a few minutes to simply write a review. It truly means the world to me. See you next week. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Wide Open. If you want more, head over to businesscoachsylvia.com/podcast for show notes and all the links and details mentioned in this episode. And if you're looking to connect with the Wide Open community more than once a week, be sure to follow along on Instagram @businesscoachsylvia. See you next week.